Hi, it's Gabby. Back at you for a weekly vlog catch up. Awkward position. Probably last, if not one of the last videos I'll be making in this house, specifically for this channel. Bittersweet. Don't want to be in this particular house, but I was wishing I'm going to my own. That's okay. Honestly, I've had a lot of time to reflect, kind of digest things, and with the whole situation and, a group message is becoming the worst. Oh yeah, it turned out like poop and I need to redo it, but honestly, I have zero desire of redoing it until after the move Saturday. So that'll be a next week vlog. But I just did it too quick, so it's not done right, as you can still see that pink. And I definitely should have used a second thing, but that's okay. I'll fix it, and I don't care. I do love the purple. But anywho, I have come to really realize that a lot of the deep feelings of not wanting to be here anymore are actually coming from my sisters. I'm just going to be flat out honest with you. I doubt that they watch this little, and I don't care. It's my channel. It comes to them. They're both sick individuals. We've lived the same life, except they lived even more. And now experiencing having kids and, yeah, Miss Rachel's in the background, obviously. But now experience having kids that are 8 years apart, which me and my oldest sister are. My other sister, my two sisters are only 15 months apart. But I'm 6 and 8 years younger than them. And it's always been like a thing our whole life, like I mentioned. But I'm really coming to realize that, like, upon my knowledge, they really don't take regular self-care that is necessary, especially the way that we've grown up. And they're in denial of their own shit. Now, do they have my own things? No, I'm not going to try to sit here and, whatever, prescribe them anything or diagnose them with anything. But I'm the youngest of the three of us, and I'm definitely not the most messed up. We lived a much better life when I was growing up in middle school and high school than they ever did. And that stuff started to change, like financially and stability wise, in high school for us. So they dealt with it even more. And my oldest definitely dealt with Josh and I at my worst, his first few years of his life. And not to say that obviously financially the twins still see stuff that, we struggle and are trying to be better for them, but there's definitely a difference, especially when there's an age gap. So I'm trying really hard to remember that. And it's ultimately not their decision. And this is coming from, like, I had a conversation with my mom basically being like, this got to this degree for me, and I haven't felt this way since the last time I lived with all of you guys in the family. So I'm not doing well, and I don't want them to personally know that. Excuse you. These twins now trying to do this. No. Anyways, I'm really trying to not let them affect me. And it was very eye-opening. Not that my mother is innocent in anything, but they're both very insane, control, power-hungry people. And I was like that too. And so, like, I'm seeing a lot of similarities in them that I also had. I'm going to have to move this. Anywho, I'm just trying to remember these things. The pile of already packed stuff. I'm just trying to remember this when I'm, like, going through these moments and not allowing myself to get to that place from people that I would never let. Like, I could easily recognize how sick they were and really, like, take what they're saying with a grain of salt. Yeah, feel something, but not feel something to the point of that degree, which I did. And that, a lot of things that were said, my mom didn't even know because she didn't read the whole group message. She just skimmed the last few messages. And anywho, and again, my mom's not innocent in this. There were still things that she'd agreed upon that I basically explained that was stupid. And that was my point. It's basically being like, my therapist was like, well, why don't you talk to her about, like, revisiting the bedroom conversation after a month? Because essentially my twins have never slept in a bedroom with us We tried and it was horrible. It did not work. And they're basically forcing us all to be in a bedroom together when we don't have to. Let me make that very clear. We don't have to. And my oldest sister lives there with her husband. And it's not long term for me. Ugh, had to redo this because I lost all this time. It's so hard to remember to delete these long videos, especially when I do vlogs, because in reality, it's like an hour plus of videos on my phone, even though I break it down to 3 minutes and I forget to do the original videos. Anywho, so basically, yeah, that's my thought process. It's come to realization my sisters are extremely sick individuals. They really need to get help, just like my mother. I've come to terms with my mother because she's like my mom, and there's all sorts of stuff that I already know about her, and like I kind of always put my sisters on the back burner, but ultimately they doing what they did is what makes me feel the way that I feel, and it always has. And I've just decided to avoid them at all costs at this point because I can't be around them safely for my own self or I will explode. And I don't want to be around them currently because they have zero desire to know who I am, figure out my mental disorder. They literally could never tell you what my favorite anything is, nor I about them, nor do I care about it. And it sucks to say that about your sisters, but that's just the way it's been. And it's like once my dad died, they immediately started scapegoating onto me because we're both very outward with our mental disorders of having bipolar. Yeah. I'm almost 100% certain my oldest sister has it, and my middle sister definitely has sincere control problems, if not OCD. So, which would make sense based on our life. So, yeah. I just have ultimately decided when we're moving things, it'll prove my point with how much space and how much room we have. And this is the bare minimum of living there. Josh and I have already reached out to find like different jobs. He found a cool full-time job. I found a really cool part-time job I'm hoping to get because it would be a dream. If not, I do have my DoorDash. We do plan to DoorDash regardless to make it faster. We're getting an e-bike, then we're getting a car. Then we are leaving. That's the main goal. So we got those jobs figured out. Another thing is I'm really taking focus on my health because I want to take advantage of being in my mom's and get my core surgery to fix my diastasis recti, which is essentially like the ab muscles split. And instead of forming back together, healing, they heal completely separated, and it makes you have zero core strength whatsoever. I tighten my ass all day. My ass has gotten extremely flatter. Like just so much stuff. And it's very normal post any pregnancy, especially multiples. But it's so deep that there's no way I'm not going to need a surgery, essentially. So trying to get as fit as possible so we can get kind of all settled in. And then get my appointments like set up for the summer so that hopefully sometime over winter I would be able to do that because I have to lay down for essentially 2 weeks straight with nobody, like no way of getting up. So I have to very much plan this ahead. But until then, I'm gonna do this like cool thing that specifically is about this from a mom. Especially with my C-section and the twins, I'm in this problem. I don't want to just go to any trainer or any program, and this one is specifically about fixing your core health. She is understanding of every single thing that I've learned about this. And then aerobics is another thing that's really good for you. So I will be living like right by the lake. I live by a bunch of lakes right now, but I will be living by my home lake. And I have a big goal of crossing it next year, that they do this like fundraiser to cross it every year. And it's something I've always wanted to do my whole life. And I'm going to practice this summer to do it because I haven't done long swimming in a long time, but I am a little fishy. So I think it'll be great. And I swear, it's like every time I step into the water, it's like I'm a totally different person. So I'm feeling good about that. So I got some goals, got some things to focus on. We're done with homeschool officially, besides like stuff we're going to do throughout the summer, like reading and some writing. But actual homeschool is done. I have my homeschool guide out. It's $20 for the rest of May. After that, it is going up to $30, and that is where it'll stay unless I have some random fail plans. It's 20 plus pages of information with examples, all the paperwork needed for, the state, specifically New York for me, but I can't always adjust it for your state. How to tell the school district, your IHIP, your, examples of all of these things, how to make a curriculum, resources on curriculum, tips on making a schedule, tips on finding your homeschool community, and some parent teacher truths. It's really your perfect guide to get you like very confident to get set up for homeschooling. It's over no specific age, no specific type of homeschooling. It's really just the basic forms to, step one is this. I don't specifically do a homeschool specific way, I guess. And I would never create a guide regarding that because I just don't. And there are plenty of people out there that have things regarding unschooling and all different kinds that you can do. It's really based on whatever you want, what works in your home, and that's what I go over. But yeah, that was a pretty cool project of mine. I'm still doing Blooming Within. Once I move, my first thing I'm going to get started on is my How to Prep for Labor for a Sport Person course that I think is pretty important. And then after that, we'll see what I'm going to make. I'm going to do these all at like extremely discounted prices, but just have them out there so they're out there in an unbiased form. Because I've noticed in the birth community, it's either one way or the other for a lot of things, unless you're working like as a nurse. But yeah, so I have a lot of goals. I'm just focusing on that and kind of just making realizations and really healing my teenage self, which I don't want to do, but it's important. I was going to take you on the journey with moving, but I'll be honest, it's extremely overwhelming and I have to do it at very random times because of how my cord feels after a while, let alone the twins. Josh is off until we move, so hopefully that's a little bit easier. So I'm kind of hoping I can make a cool video of our bedroom because that's my like room that I let become an absolute disaster. So it'd be kind of cool to see it all set up or all cleaned up. But we'll see about that. But yeah, that's everything. That's the update for the weekly vlog. And next week I'll be at my mom's. So see you then.